So, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Now we start with the Rump session. This is now into three parts, so it will get more serious and serious with each break. So stay tuned for that. So there's the program. We start with the general announcements, and then after the break, you'll see some serious stuff, and then more serious stuff. Okay, so stay tuned. Please have a look at the program. So be near the stage when it's your turn, because we want to switch very fast. We have a long program. And again, thank you for all the submitters. A couple of warnings, maybe we'll repeat again. We'll ring a bell when you are 1 minute before the deadline. And if you are past the deadline, you'll have a surprise.
Okay, so it's customary for program chairs to report on the review process. So like we were selected as chairs 2 years ago. And this is what happened. We had 4 submission deadlines every 3 months. And we tried to have 4 reviews per paper. We had rebuttals, which allowed the authors and reviewers to discuss. We had some PC meetings for about 1 paper in 20. And we mostly followed the previous year process, although we picked a second best paper because our number of papers accepted was 3N plus 2. And there is a different review form in which we showed scores prior to rebuttal. And that experiment may not have been entirely a success because that allowed people to get really angry at us. Anyway, we accepted the 101 papers after 0.66 gigabytes of compressed email. And that's my mailbox. So Diego says that he had 1 gigabyte of mail. So clearly he was 50% better than we are. And this is our program committee. And it's mostly guys. It's mostly European. It's mostly academic. And almost half is the first years. I mean, some of that was not of our making, like people declined, and we have to make up the numbers. I think Mihail and Deptip, the next chairs, are trying to make things more even. And something here, and we only show here accept, major revision, and reject and resubmit and reject. But the minor revisions got mixed in mostly with the accepts, and in one single case, it was rejected. And so, as you can see, most major revision papers are accepted, and most new submissions are not accepted, and reject and resubmits have roughly the same overall acceptance ratio. So this is the third and fourth, and this is the overall. our acceptance rate is 27%, slightly higher. And there are a total of 373 submissions. And there is a lot of major revisions, and most of which got accepted. So like we were criticized by some important people that maybe we are having too many revisions. Well, I mean, we tried our best. Anyway, let's hand this over.
Thank you. It is our great pleasure to be here. It was our great pleasure to be selected program chairs of CHES and serve the community in that regard. But it's even greater pleasure to finish this year. It was enough. It was a lot of work. And here we would like to present to you guys some fun facts of the review process. As mentioned by Bhasin, we received 373 submissions, and we accepted 101 of them for 27% of overall acceptance rate. You need to consider that when you submit a new paper, there is only 12.6% chance that the paper is going to be accepted. I'm sure that I'm seeing right now faces of people who submitted and they were accepted in that same issue. Congratulations to you guys. This is not easy to achieve. Generally, what happens is that the paper becomes of either a major review or a reject and resubmit or a plain reject. If you get a major review, that doesn't mean that you have bad news. Actually, it's good news, because if you follow the rules, which are basically to obey with the binding list of requested changes, then your chances are pretty high. As you can see, 87.5% of the major reviews eventually get accepted to CHES. On the contrary, if you receive a reject and resubmit, no matter if you are enthusiastic and you believe that the reviews were kind of encouraging, we invite you to think twice, because these reject and resubmit have a very high chances of being finally rejected. So take your time before you resubmit R&R. And we would like to summarize the do's and don'ts in this slide. For major revision, always follow the binding recommendations, and almost you will have a pretty good chance of getting your paper accepted. Something that is very important, please, in CHES, the appendices go before the references. And many people make this mistake. We need to put it in a remark. Please try to have this rule applied to your submission. Don't hurry to resubmit or reject and resubmit. Always answer during reviewer questions. Remember that if you don't review it, basically you are conceding your paper is not going to go forward. Include implementations. We are CHES here. We love implementations, so try to include implementations. And if you can also submit an artifact, more than better. Is even more than better. The don'ts: don't go over 500 words in the review tal. Don't fail to review it, as I was saying. Don't insult your reviewers. They are trying their best. Sometimes we make mistakes, but don't try to insult your reviewers. If you are going to get angry with anyone, you have the PC chairs to. If Michael is here, he won't like it, but yeah, you can always complain against the PC chairs, and don't oversell your paper. That almost always backfires. How many more numbers? How many reviews do we have in this CHES 2024? We have 1,711 reviews, for an average of 4.6 reviews per paper. All papers received at least 4 reviews, and some of them 7 reviews. The number of comments per for all the papers were more than 5,500, for an average of 15 comments per paper, which is a lot. And the record was a paper that received 54 comments. And in case you are wondering, the paper was after the 54 comments finally accepted. That paper had 7 reviews. So a lot of cooks got a nice soup in this case. These are our beloved members of the program committee. Thanks to all of you. Please, a round of applause for those of them who are here. We got 78 of them, and without them, we wouldn't be here. So this is a lot of work, and these are the names of our program committee. And without also our external reviewers, we got 108 external reviewers for a record number of them. And without them, we couldn't also make it for this CHES 2024. So our gratitude goes to the submitters of these 373 papers, to our 78 program committee members, the 108 external reviewers, to the general co-chairs, Colin and Hillary. Applause for them, please. The artifact chair, Marco, the Rump session co-chairs here, Matthias and Shivam, the poster session chairs, Maria Mendez Real and Francesco Regazzoni, the CHES webmaster, Ruben Niederhagen, the past PC chairs who coached us a lot and they gave us a lot of advices, Diego and Marcel, Kevin McCurley, that he is doing so many things, and in general, the CHES steering committee. We also want to acknowledge that and honor the best reviewers that we got. Ruben Niederhagen was, where is Ruben? Thank you very much, Ruben. Great reviews. And also honorable mentions to Marco, who is here. Marco, thank you. Matthias and Nicolas Tejo. Also, as you know, we have in this edition of CHES, we have a best paper and we have an runner-up and 3 honorable mentions. So the best paper was the Closing the Gap, the leakage contracts for processors with transitions and glitches. The runner-up was Fast and Clean, auditable high performance assembly via constraint solving. And then we have 3 honorable mentions that I would like to acknowledge. We would like to acknowledge here the paper High Assurance Serialization. Very nice paper, solid papers. The same for TPM Scan, a wide-scale study of security relevant properties of TPM 2.0 chips. Thank you. And by ECSCA, sorry, reverse engineering black box elliptic curve cryptography via side channel analysis. Very great papers too. Very hard decision. It was taken by the PCs, and we try our best to rank these papers, but all of them were very solid papers. And finally, we have some 2 questions for you. The first one is a trivia. What's worse for your chances? Maybe you can, yeah.
I mean, like, take your guess. Well, maybe unexpected, but we know that the number 4 is really bad luck, and it's really bad luck, like 15%. Here's the other joke.
So this is a very difficult joke, and I need you guys to focus on this. You have these 2 characters here shown in the screen now, and your job is, but there is a bet. Yeah, the bet is to measure the wisdom of these 2 characters measured in number of years. Well, there should be something to measure this thing, and the question is what is the combined wisdom of these guys measured in number of years? So
is it in log scale?
Oh, this didn't go well. So the options are that we combine 80 plus years. Raise your hand if you believe that. Uh-oh. The second option is not shown here, but is option B is 90 plus years. Some few, yeah, not bad. 100 plus years that we combine in age, in wisdom. Yeah, getting better. 110 plus years that we combine in wisdom. Oh, it's a tight call, I say. Oh, this is B. This is C. And E is, no, this is the right answer. D. We combine 110 plus years of. Thank you very much.
So this is for the awesome work done by the program chairs.
All right. Hello, good evening. I hope you enjoyed dinner, enjoyed the posters, the open bar, and the beginning of the Rump session. So I'm going to be fast because we don't want this to get boring. So yeah, Bhasin and Francisco made a very good job in, pointing out all the work what all the other people did and how everybody helped them and so on. Simple fact is they did a lot of work themselves, and I would like them to come up to the stage and us to give them a very long and very warm and a massive round of applause, because program chair is a hard job, is a very time-demanding job. Everybody complains all the time. Nobody's ever happy. You have to deal with the PC of CHES is growing massively. They're, I think, at the moment around dealing with 80 program committee members and so on. So this is a lot of work, and we should all appreciate that. And as is tradition in ISCR conferences, they get a little plate that they can hang in their offices or wherever they wish. So there's one for you. One for you. And I guess they can keep the hats because they like the hats. I think that's okay. All right. Thanks very much. Good job, guys. And similarly, being a general chair is also a demanding and stressful job. So Colin and Hillary, are you in the room? Yeah, don't hide there. Come on. Take your time. Take your time. It's fine. Huh? No. They won't. They won't. You want to sit? You want to wear it out? Right. So yeah. So I've been program chair at some point in the past. I know it's hard. I've been general chair also a little bit more recently. So I know also that is really, a terrible job. You have a million thousand things that you have to take care of. You want to do it better than the guy who did it last year, and I don't know, everything goes wrong, and you're just fixing stuff all the time. And then Hillary writes me very stressed emails and says, "Oh my God, how we do this?" and so on. In the end, I think we all love it, and it's great. And thank you guys very much. That's all from me.
Hello. So artifacts. I have to educate everyone again about artifacts. So artifacts are anything related to your paper that helps to reproduce the results. So this is why we are doing this. So of course, reproducibility means that it's more probable to be correct. If someone can verify that it is working. It also helps, if there's some problem, you can sort of debug using the artifacts. What was perhaps the cause of an error in your paper? So you can, and it's also you can put in additional stuff that just can document your processes and everything related to your research, which is not contained in the paper because of that. So of course, helping the community as well. So we are thinking about PhD students and education and this. A artifact is different from a GitHub repo. So it's always related to a paper, but of course, we archive them forever. So these are theoretically available in 20 years, and as we noticed, papers can be still relevant after 20 years. So it's good to have these in hand. And of course, it goes on with the sort of a broader open science goals, geographical, making research available globally to all kinds of groups that might not have access to it otherwise. So these are always freely available, for example. Now about the process. So when I started, like when I was asked to do this, CHES was the only ISER conference doing it. So I should mention that during this year, also all ISER conferences are now doing this. So Eurocrypt had an artifact process. Crypto had an artifact process. FSC has an artifact process. AsiaCrypt has an artifact process starting this year, and some of the related conferences like PETS is doing an artifact process as well. So now this is like the year of the artifact. But I was given, perhaps I didn't realize that I was given this crazy freedom of like making up a new kind of artifact thing. So we have badges. So we were actually evaluating at 3 different levels. So the idea is, which was mostly copied actually from Usenix security, is that when you submit an artifact related to your paper, you are invited after acceptance to submit an artifact, you can choose the evaluation level. So first one is available, so that it's something related to your paper that we archive for later use. Second one requires some actual testing. So we try to run it and check your documentation and some other things. So after that, you get a functional badge. A third one is the most controversial. It means that we are able to reproduce your main results. You should not claim this or ask for this level of evaluation if you just, your result is of the type that is not like really reproducible by others. And yes, we need nicer graphics for this, these badges, like ACM has badges. They have a very cool look to it. Usenix has very nice looking graphics. IEEE has badges now. So ISER would need also graphics. So the process is not to just like assign a score to your artifact. Basically all artifacts are accepted, unless there's like something obscene in it or it's completely unrelated to your paper. It's of course always accepted, but we are just helping to improve them. So it's an interactive process. The reviewers are anonymous. They of course know your paper because you are not anonymous because it's after acceptance. I'm the only one who's like publicly like there as a chair. And so there's an interactive process using HotGRP where we are kind of trying to help people improve their artifacts. So I mean, basic things are like there's a file missing that just doesn't compile because you forgot a header file or something like that. So these are very basic things, and quite often the artifacts are not self-contained enough. There's library dependencies, dependencies on some obscure libraries that your lab mate wrote and published perhaps on a GitHub, but that's not really appropriate for an artifact. So the way we run this was that the submission deadline was 6 weeks after notification. So that's 2 weeks after camera ready. That might change. We have already published the first 3 batches or the artifacts related to the first 3 issues. We have looked at issue 4 already for the award and for other purposes. And that should be coming out shortly. So all of the artifacts of ISER are available in the central location. We had to put some data offline because it's just too big to hold. Some traces and a virtual machine is offline, available by request. Now, okay, the first percentage matches, which was previously discussed, so 373 submitted. papers, 101 accepted, and out of that, we got 30 artifacts. So it's about 30% of the papers in this conference have artifacts associated with them. Because crypto and Eurocrypt just started, each one of those, it's 8% and 12% this year. Asia crypto has not happened yet. So I don't know the percentage, but yeah, I hope they catch up and eventually we get a higher percentage still. So all evaluation categories were in use. So we had available, functional, and reproduced as for all categories. And because of this, now we have data available, which was actually previously not easy to find, like actual raw data from random number generators and some traces, and of course, bunch of code for doing proofs. There's all kinds of things in there that we think help researchers. So this was the artifact evaluation committee. I can say that this is perfect for PhD students. So I recently switched from industry to academia, and I have students now, and this is a sort of activity that keeps them busy and is useful for their general education. We of course had experienced researchers there as well, and we had people from Apple and PQ Shield and industry people as well. So that was useful. Now I'm keeping this short. So the best artifact award was actually in the last batch, for which we have not even published yet, but it was the committee members had looked into it and decided to give it to Bhasin. So I have to say that this is a little weird because a GitHub repo is not an artifact. I just said that, but there's an excellent GitHub repo with the contents of this particular proposal. You can also just like type in install the Python module with pip pip command just like that because it's so easily available. So I would like I think Jan might be here. One of the authors. I have 5 awards to take home. So I hope one of the authors is here. Jan? Or is there more than one? Okay, that's even better. Let me get the awards. All right, this is fantastic. We have 3 out of 5. So I'm holding on to 2 of these, giving 3 to you guys. Yeah. If someone please take a photo. So if you want to say a couple of words, for example, answer my question, did we manage to keep this secret from you?
You tried really hard. We were also trying hard to find out if it was us. I didn't want to get my hopes up. So yes, you managed to keep it secret. Thanks a lot for this. This is great. So thanks again. Do more artifacts. Artifacts rock.
All right, so that was an operational security success, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. The next is a report on the VBox competition, the only CHES challenge this year. So it was a competition about white box implementations, and I will briefly introduce it and award the winners. So you will probably, if you're interested in white box, you can attend the session tomorrow, but I will briefly introduce if you're not familiar with it. Typically in cryptography, when we attack something, at first we only model it as a black box, so we can put some inputs, get some outputs, which are mixed with the key. But of course, at CHES, we also look at a model where we have some leakage. And if you put side channel leakage to the extreme, where you have full access to all the intermediate values, this is the white box model. And as you can guess, it is extremely harsh for the designers, and it is not clear how, or even if it's possible to do at all. And the only reasonable way to do this is to somehow obfuscate the use of the key inside the implementation. And the goal is at least to secure the program against extracting the secret key while maintaining it fully functional. And all publicly known designs and schemes are broken. And at the same time, there is a huge interest from industry, and which has to rely on some sort of secret designs. And this motivates the idea of the VBox competition, which is already here fourth time. So first two editions, in 2017, 2019, targeted IS block cipher, the classic white box design. And there were even some survived challenges during the competition, but they were still broken afterwards. Last edition in 2021 targeted ECDSA, and this edition also targeted ECDSA. And the way it was chosen was this year was a vote in Twitter where ECDSA won by a slight margin. So there is still large interest into IS white box competitions. But maybe there are other options that could interest the community, like we have other ciphers. So maybe if there is more interest, please let us know and we will consider it for next edition. And the general concept of the competition is to clash the potential designers and attackers. So the designers can submit arbitrary implementation, white box implementation of an ECDSA signature on a fixed curve. And the attackers just try to download this program and break and extract the secret key. There is a scoring methodology. So an implementation, when submitted, starts to accumulate strawberry points, which are growing quadratically. And when it's broken, they start to decline symmetrically. And when someone attacks the implementation, the attacker gets the number of banana points, which are equal to the strawberry points. And we only count the best attempt, so for a designer or for attacker. So there is no need to produce many implementations or many attacks. Just making one good implementation or one good attack is enough to win. And there is also some performance boost if good performance, then the implementation gets more points. And the implementations were mainly limited by the last two lines, which are that the executable should be at most 50 megabytes, which means that limits the amount of data, the amount of constants that could be stored there, also the amount of code, but also it should be able to run in 10 seconds or less per signature. So these are quite large numbers, and they were increased from the last edition to give the designers more power and potential to give new interesting implementations. So now we are going closer to the results. But some small statistics. There were 55 registered users, which submitted 47 challenges from 12 unique users. There were 300 recorded attacks by 24 users. And impressively, the fastest break was in 2 minutes. So someone submitted an implementation, and 2 minutes after, it was already broken by Tim Kerkhoffs, which we'll see later. And the most broken challenge was one that was broken 21 times. So it's not to say that it was a bad challenge, but to say that at least 21 user was involved actively in the challenge. And if we look at scores over time, so the strawberry scores for the designs, the challenge lasted from end of May to end of August, but submission deadline for challenges was until 8th of August. And as usually before submission deadline, there was not many strong submissions. They were all submitted towards the end of the competition. And as we could see, after the the end of the submission deadline, there was quite large number of designs, and some of them were quite good. So finally, we're ready to announce the winners of the 4th edition of the competition. And I will start with the design winners. So on the 3rd place, we have Team Blue Cat, represented by Nicolas Tranchant. And their design lasted 2 days during the competition. And the team gets a small cash prize and an electronic diploma. On the 2nd place, we have Team Anna Martitos, comprised of Jan Gojnic, Dominic Klein, Friedrich Laus, Johannes Mittmann, Jan Zimmer from BSI, and Aran Gore, independent. Their implementation lasted almost 4 days. And they also received a small cash prize and an electronic diploma. And the 1st place goes to Team IDFX, which is cryptography and security team of IDEMIA. And their design lasted almost 5 days during the competition. And I invite Agat from the team to receive the award. Congratulations and a good job. So now we are going to announce the attack winners. On the 3rd place, there is Team Black Box, which is comprised of Hermann Drexler and Lars Hoffmann, who are from Giesecke and Devrient company from Germany. They made a total of 38 breaks, and which is very close to the total number of 47 submitted designs. So they receive a small cash prize and also electronic diploma. On the 2nd place, we have the same team that won the designs, the Team IDFX. And in fact, they could not be better attackers, because to be better attackers, they have to break a better implementation, but they cannot break their own implementation by the rules. But they still made a large number of breaks, and they get the 2nd place. And on the 1st place, the winners of the attack category is Team Kerkhoffs, which is actually the same as Team Anna Martitos from 2nd place from the design category. So they made a total of 46 breaks. So they broke essentially everything except their design. And I invite Johannes to receive the award and also to give a short talk about their strategy. Congratulations and very good job.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank the organizers of this contest. So like in the previous edition, it was a lot too fun to participate. Now, this is just a very short presentation about how we broke challenge 62, so the winning challenge. So our basic approach during the competition was to use automated fault attacks. So without looking at the source code, you compile the challenge, create 2 correct signatures, and then you inject some fault in the binary, produce 2 faulty signatures with the same hash values, and then you try out several or a simple and several collision and differential collision fault attacks. The details you can look up in the CHES 2022 paper by Bauer and others. So there are a couple of variants. So first of all, which hash values you choose, also what kinds of faults you introduce. So our common choices were to replace instructions by knobs, for example, or faults in the data sections of the binary. And finally, it can also make a difference which kind of compiler you take, which version, which options, and so on. Yeah, this is sometimes not so clear-cut what the best choices, and a little bit of luck is also included. However, for challenge number 62, our attempts were not successful. So we had to look inside the source code of the challenge. So one of the things we noticed in the Idefix challenges was that most of their challenges included the mini GMP source code, because it was allowed to use the GMP shared library according to the rules. But yeah, here it was a little bit more hidden, but still, because they are binary compatible, the formats, we could still use GMP to look intermediate values or to manipulate them. However, this also wasn't so fruitful. And we also, up to today, we don't really understand the design completely because it was obfuscated. So first of all, variable and function names were randomized, but more importantly, all the more complex functions used some sort of virtualization. And so our last hope was maybe if you can devirtualize the function, that we create further opportunities for successful fault attacks. So how does this virtualization look like? So each of those virtualized functions had its own set of instructions. Then there was some state in stack memory, an instruction and a stack pointer, and the program itself consisted of an array of those instructions plus data. So at least that's what I think. And yeah, the program is then executed by a while loop. And we wrote a script that steps through this encoded program and produces a straight line C code out of it. For some functions, this increased the code size so much that it was impractical. So we left a couple of functions out. And then we ran our automated fault attacks against this devirtualized version of the challenge. And in this case, it was successful. And yeah, so here's the solution. In this case, the simple fault attack was successful. So this is the well-known fault attack against deterministic ECDSA, where fault happens in the R value, so the first component of the signature, and this value is returned to the attacker as part of the signature and is used to compute the second value. And then you can use this formula to compute the secret key. And what's a little bit interesting or curious is that this faulty R value actually equals P minus Q, where P is the characteristic of the finite field and Q the group order of the elliptic curve. So I'm not sure what happened there, but maybe Demir can shed some light on it and we can find out afterwards. So that's already it. Thank you for your attention.
This concludes the serious part of the Rump session. Now it's time to get a drink. Let's do a 15-minute break and depending on the performance of the bar, but try 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna announce the special guest. There'll be a special guest from the new AEQA team in here if you're interested in meeting them in a minute, so. Our dogs are coming. We're gonna need to check. Okay, so I'll just like a break. Will I ask for what it is? What do you want to do? Like to distribute it? Like we will do it, but like more hands will help, right? I will just give it to someone. But I want a beer. I mean, we're gonna get it. I don't know if you can use the like the mice, right? Ah. That's the plan. Well, right now you cannot do anything.
But it's taking its time. We cannot do it.
Huh?
So it's taking its time. We cannot like do it.
That's their plan, yeah. So you can't do it too often.
Don't worry about it. Don't spoil. Don't spoil. Your talk at the end of this. How low is the bar? Can we start getting people back inside so we can start?
Hi guys, we'll be starting soon. So let's be back and okay, I'll pass Matthias to tell you what to do now.
Maybe just test this now and then. Welcome back to the fun part of the Rump session. We have a couple of nice talks, and we have some fun things that we can do for the not so funny talks. There's some QR codes there. You can start scanning them. So if there's boring talks, scan this QR code and then something will happen. If you do that now, we will see it. And maybe I use the time to thank Lawrence Pani for helping putting this together. Some of this code is written by him. Can more people scan the QR code and then we watch the counter go to 0 and then. Okay, maybe we already announced the prizes.
So we will have this special chess edition cleats. They have the chess engraving and the best stocks. Not only the best stocks, there are other weird prizes as well. So try to give a good talk or a weird talk. Let's see who wins.
And if you wonder what this is good for, I think it's useful if we have a boat. If you don't have a boat, then maybe you need to buy a boat now. And maybe a reminder, there's the next speaker already showing on the slide. So if you're that speaker, please get ready already because we have a tight program. So we want to move through it smoothly. And now we're almost at. Can more people scan the QR codes and Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. If you've been to, who has been at CHES 2015? Then this may look familiar a little bit. Slightly different, but okay, let's get started. With the first talk.
Just a reminder, so when it's 1 minute left, we'll ring the bell. And if you pass the time, then there'll be more noises here.
Hello? Oh, look at this. So 18 years ago, I don't know why I'm in the non-serious part because this is a very serious talk. So 18 years ago, I made a big mistake. I switched from software to hardware hacking. So for you who are not familiar, a software hacking lab looks like this. There's people sitting quietly in laptops. They're having a good time. It's all very organized. And I've also been very unlucky to have been in many hardware hacking labs around the world. And it generally looked like something like this. There's this crap everywhere. I don't even know, like, I'm looking at you too, Colin. Where are you? I saw your desk today. This is like this. So I'm really trying to prevent, especially, I mean, there's a lot of people in this audience that are lost, but like if you're still a PhD student, there's still time. This could be your life too, right? So choose wisely. In hardware hacking labs, there's always the problem of blue magic smoke. You've all seen it. This will inhaling this crap will significantly shorten your life. Just do not. Oh, and the lies. So, how often have you seen this? Oh, with $100 or $4 of equipment, I can do this hardware attack. And what they don't mention is you need like a $30,000 server to process all those traces and whatnot. This is just a big lie. Did I tell you about the magic smoke already? There's so much of it. Then 98, oh, you know, smart cards are being broken by side channel analysis. And then in 2005, oh no, it also breaks pay TV SoCs, and you know, it's terrible. 2010, it breaks mobile payment systems. And in 2020, it breaks cars. And Jesus, I'm done with it. Soldering hurts. And then these two idiots wrote a book about this stuff too. Don't buy it. Just Google free PDF, hardware hacking handbook. You'll end up on that link. You can just download it. And all the magic smoke, it's just killing me. I don't think there's a Q&A. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, what is Tiny Simon? So Simon is this block cipher proposed by NSA 2013. Tiny Tapeout is a chip design or chip tapeout service started by Matt 2017. His idea is you collect a bunch of small designs, you put them all on one chip and they tape it out for you. You get a chip back. So can we get Simon onto Tiny Tapeout? You need a little bit of magic for that. And so the magic here is a bit serial architecture. You make everything serialized. And so there's a paper on there that describes it very nicely how to do that. And if you do all that, indeed, you can get Simon onto a tiny tape-out slice, 160 micron by 100 micron, about 1,000 gates. So that's nice. But of course, in CHES, we are not impressed by small designs. There needs to be something more. So what is it in Tiny Tapeout? The thing is, it has a very low or very shallow learning curve. Literally, you write your design open source in a repo, you push it onto GitHub, and simply the fact of pushing your design onto GitHub triggers a whole design flow that takes your design from Verilog all the way to a layout, including synthesis, including place and route, timing verification, simulation, you name it. You can literally do this on a rainy sunny afternoon because you don't need to install any software. You just need an internet connection. So that's nice. But there's actually also more. Once you're on such a chip, you get a lot of friends. So when you have your slides there, there's 511 designs that surround you that also contains these designs. And the nice thing here is that you share your design with all the others. And I was thinking, this is similar to a conference, right? You submit a paper and then you get to the conference and you see all the other papers, which lead me to, well, we could actually do a tape out on CHES. And that has actually a lot of advantages. For one, no more guessing to reproduce a published result. No more ambiguities about parameters on a deck bubble. Just power up the chip. Moreover, half of you work on attacks and the other half work on countermeasures. Well, now you get a chance to duke it out on chip. We will just put the fault injectors next to the fault detectors, and we put the time to digital converters next to the masking-based countermeasures. So tape out on CHES. Think about it. Thank you.
More people need to click the button, I think. Please click the button.
We love LEDs. We do. So we started out with this FPGA and we're like, what's going on? What's going on with it? I really don't know what's going on inside there. Add an LED, of course. What more can we do? Actually, at some point I was bootstrapping this system and my wife literally asked me, is your job just blinking LEDs? And I had to admit that, yes, that is my job. Okay, but what's better than one LED? Two LEDs. What's better than two LEDs? Do you see where I'm going here? You see? Eight LEDs. Okay. So at this point, we were like, okay, do we have enough LEDs? Maybe we need more LEDs to say what the FPGA does. Now, also, we like security. This is a security conference, right? So how do you add like memory safety, for example? Well, you can do it by adding LEDs to you can add LEDs. Now at this point in the at this point in the design process, we were very worried that we didn't have enough LEDs on this board. So we decided to add an expandable header so that people could buy expansion packs to put more LEDs. And this is a little bit boring, right? All just single colors. We need RGB LEDs, of course. So yeah. We have a Sonata board. Come see the low risk booth if you want it. LEDs, we love them.
Look at me following instructions. So just really quickly, last presented on OpenTitan at CHES 2022. Just a real quick update. I'm sorry if you've seen this talk slightly before. But I'm not actually that sorry. So think of this as a presentation on promises made, promises kept. Who am I to be talking about this? I am the person who started this quite a bit longer than people realize. This stuff takes time, takes energy, takes a little bit of stress and slightly, receding hairline. But what we really believe is that Kirchhoff's principle deserves quite a bit of respect. Common criteria doesn't always agree with us, but who are we to pay attention to something like that? So what's OpenTitan today? It's real, it turns out. Can you get it? Kinda, sort of, but we're gonna fix that soon. Because what good is having real silicon if you can't actually access to it? So thanks to all the people who've contributed to this, especially the people who have picked it apart and really kept us honest. Because that is actually what makes a project like OpenTitan, open source silicon, actually real. And how did we get here? So I am going to finally answer the question that every single one of my managers asked me all along the way. It's true, though. So saying that hardware is hard, it is actually hard. Better put, it's time consuming. And when you build it all from scratch, people look at like you've got a third eye. So where OpenTitan actually started, 2015, something called Honest Machines, didn't really vibe. So, took another pass at it, got it funded, made chips, more chips are coming. They'll be available next year. What comes next? More stuff, more implementations, more integrations. But what I would really ask of people is that when these things are available, when they're in your hands, that you proactively go after them, poke, prod, and examine them, and really keep them honest. So one, I really want to say thank you to this entire community, the academic community in particular. I feel like folks in that community have benefited quite a bit. I feel like we've all benefited quite a bit more. So this has been something that I said was going to be true when I started this, and I always knew it was going to be true, and I was really happy to find out it was true 5 years later. So this has been a great substrate, I think, for academic sort of implementation, academic experimentation. And lost my place. And again, I want to ask for this one last favor. Please keep open, tight, and honest. Make it the honest machine it should be, and please use it. And I'm done.
Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. So some time ago, 3 days ago exactly, there was this nice paper called Juicy that was released by Thomas Rush at Ninja Lab, and he said in this paper that machine learning and artificial intelligence wasn't good enough, so he had to look at the traces and classify them by hand. So I asked myself, is that what you should be doing? Should you employ actual people to look at the power traces instead of artificial intelligence? And more precisely, should you employ interns instead of use artificial intelligence to analyze the power traces? So here is the overview of my talk. First, I'm going to explain to you why I am qualified to deliver this talk. Then I am going to explain to you what are AI-based citation attacks. And then I will do a very objective and facts-based comparison between interns and artificial intelligence. And I won't take any question. You will have to wait for the full-length version of this talk at CHES 2025. So why am I qualified to give this talk? First, I was an intern some time ago. I am actually not an intern anymore, whatever you might believe. And also, I did computed K-mean twice, actually. K-mean is a highly sophisticated machine learning thing. Trust me on that. So what about AI-based citation attacks? I hope you like this picture, because the following pictures will be less precise than that. So here are some power traces. Sorry for the quality. I drew them with my trackpad. Here is an artificial intelligence, Bebop, which is not a frog. This will eat power traces, so you have to feed its power traces, and then they will output the secret key by some magic because it's artificial intelligence. And the question is, what if you replace a Bebop artificial intelligence by an intern? Would it work the same way? And what are the benefits? What are the drawbacks of this? So here we come to the comparison. First, let's talk about the carbon footprint. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Well, rainforest is burning. I don't have to explain to you the role of Bebop in all of that, but it's very, very bad. And what about your intern? Well, your intern can actually plant things so they can compensate their own carbon emissions. So that is a very good point for the intern. Now, what about the neural network? Because we all know that artificial intelligence needs neural network to function. I've looked it up on Google, and it seems that your artificial intelligence has at most 10 to the power of 7 neurons, which is equivalent to the frog brain. And would you trust a frog with your data set? I don't think so. And your intern, well, they have around 86 times 10 to the power of 9 neurons, which is equivalent to the human brain. So that's better. No, let's talk about the training time. Well, for your artificial intelligence, I had no idea, so I had to ask ChatGPT. And the answer is that it depends. So you will have to back with that. And what about your intern? Well, first, they have to spend 8 years in elementary school, then 7 years in high school, then 5 years at college, at least, which amounts to at least 20 years, which is quite a long time. So that's a better point for the AI. And now my final point is the supervision. Well, we all know that machine learning can be left unsupervised. We have unsupervised machine learning model, but should you? And the intern, no, interns need supervisor. Do not leave them alone, please. They are real human beings with feelings, and you have to take care of them, like give them water, sun, and things like that. Okay, let's come to the concluding remarks. So I summarized the comparison between the intern and the artificial intelligence. You can see that on the carbon footprint, AI is winning. On the neural network, no, I'm sorry, on the carbon footprint, the human intelligence is winning. Same of the neural network, because we have a human level brain. On the training time, well, it's AI which is winning. On the supervision, AI is winning. So I guess it's a tie. And I will let you do your own enlightened choice about this question. And I won't take any question, as I said earlier.
Hi, CHES people. There are two things that I want. Actually, three. I want sleep, but like I need postdocs. Like this is a job in Taiwan. Like I'm not going to go through this. If you need to talk to a younger person, talk to Matthias Kannwischer. If you want to talk to an older person, try Ruben Niederhagen. And I mean, this is a nice place, great beaches, great food, great, I mean, mountains, fields, anything you need. The other thing is, I've been an old CHES person, like CHES 2004 T-shirt here. And I've done a lot of community service, including being a general chair in 17 and program chair here. And I'm running for re-election in the ISCR board elections. And those who think that I've been serving the community well, I need your support. Anyway, that's it.
I can highly recommend going to Taiwan. It's just a little risky that you will never leave again, but so we have another break now. Can get another drink and be back here in 15 minutes or so. Why are these fields no longer transparent? Fields are transparent. Yeah, I think they don't think about 5 minutes. Yeah, paying for that. Field should be transparent, be no black border around it. Buffering, I need so weird.
I'll call in to cover.
Can the General Captain Colin come to the front, please? He didn't hear it. Colin?
Captain Colin. Rump is in session.
Right, stage one. All right. Side channel. So new records in hardware SBox count. Implementations. There's another word. New record alert. I have an ultra low gate count SBox implemented in hardware to share with you. And if you ask ChatGPT what the smallest AES SBox is, it's 82 gates. And they cite the paper here, which doesn't appear in the paper anywhere, 82. So this is a really good second bonus tip. If you're a professor trying to catch your students using ChatGPT, ask them what the smallest AES SBox is and see what they say. So I have a 0 gate SBox implementation. The SBox is encoded on stainless steel, no gates anywhere, and you just spin it to read the SBox output. There's a side-ish channel, because if you look from about 20 degrees off side channel, you can see where they've rotated it. If you go fully side channel, you zoom in, and you can see there's some patterns that you could template. So there is some template attack capabilities here. There's a side eye gaze problem, so that only gets you the row. So you kind of need your eye to map to where it's reading in here. So this is open-ended. So yeah, new world record, 0 gates. It's open source. There will be an artifact eventually. It'll be very reproducible, and I will get a badge for that. Thank you.
Hello, Sharks. We are the Optimist OSC. Today, we are asking for 1 sign-up in exchange for 5% equity of an Optimist t-shirt. Hi, Dev. What are you doing up here? I was about to introduce everyone to our Optimist open source ecosystem.
Well, I have to run before you do that.
Let loose.
I just presented 2 whole papers, and now I have to start a new project.
I don't see how that's a problem.
That means learning all new interfaces, trying to build or learn new tools, and trying to reproduce old experiments. And I just want to do science and get my papers out.
Well, what a coincidence. That definitely wasn't scripted. Our Optimist open source ecosystem can help you with all of those things. And I hear that you have a chance to win a free t-shirt if you sign up at the link here.
Okay, but I don't see how open source will help me.
Well, our ecosystem is more than just GitHub. We're trying to build a community to come together, see if we can standardize interfaces, make experiments more reproducible, and increase the visibility of open source products at the link here.
That's great.
Hey guys, I just finished reading this signed copy of the hardware hacking handbook, but I don't know what to do next.
Luckily for you, our ecosystem can also help with that. It should help make it easier for people to learn and shorten the time before they can start doing, making it easier to teach students and train new hires. Also, it's backed by all of these really smart people that some of you may know. We traveled all across the world, mainly on Zoom, to interview all kinds of people across all domains, just to bring you this song about what we found. Ready, boys? 3, 2, 1. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Make it scalable and interoperable. No need to pretend. Low cost and flexible with versatility in sight. An active community makes it all right. So if you want to be my lover, you gotta understand. It's all about the quality, not just a quick fix or plan. High standards and support, that's how we set the tone. With flexibility and teamwork, we're never alone.
Take it away, Trey.
Yo, we're on this journey, but there's a steep learning curve. Get scattered documentation, it's making us swerve. Lack of interoperability, yeah, that's a real pain. And reproduce these tough, feels like we're in the rain. Trying to navigate this maze with all these barriers in place, but we're pushing through the struggle, keeping pace. We need solution clarity, no more ambiguity, just some streamlined answers with solid reproducibility. Together, we can help fight anguish and misery in EC labs across the world. By coming together in the Optimist open source ecosystem, we can discuss how to make open source accessible and usable and cool and great and functional for everyone. All we need is you to sign up at the link below and help a poor PhD student today, like Dev.
This is a very serious talk. Do you suffer from security certification-related illnesses? Do you get headaches after searching through hundreds of security targets? Do you feel anxiety, stress, or pressure while reading security targets? Have you ever tried to find the dependencies between certificates before, only to end up looking like this guy? Suffer no more. CHES is here for you. CHES, the all-in-one medicine, and these slides are not supposed to look like that. They're supposed to be headings. Never mind, though. CHES is the all-in-one security certification medicine. So you can use our site and tool to perform full-text search through certificates and their extracted metadata. You can explore our analysis of the security certification landscape. You can explore interactive reference graph of common criteria in FIPS 140 certificates. And you can also find devices affected by new and known vulnerabilities. You too can look like this. There is help. Ask your doctor if CHES is right for you. Find more at CHES.org.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diego. I was born in Brazil. Now I live in Denmark. I work there, but my passport still sucks. So the story starts in October 23. We had just finished organizing CHES. We were very happy that the work was done. The conference was fine. And then it was time to look at CHES 24, right? CHES 24, let's go. And then I had to decide, or I had to find out, how do I get there? So, but then the question is like, why would a Brazilian go to Canada? So there are many reasons. I list some here. First, it's very stable, right? So Brazilians value stability because of the chaos back home. People are very polite. They apologize profusely about everything. We appreciate that as well. It's a multicultural society with plenty of immigrants, so you feel at home. And if someone is feeling adventurous, you can come to Canada and get frostbite. So you might lose like a finger or two. And this, because this is a multicultural country, you might wonder, maybe the visa policies are quite friendly to people visiting. So let's take a look at that. Well, I realized that to apply to a visa, it would take 400 days. So I was already late. I need another plan. But before we go into that, let's look at geography, right? And try to understand how this is a problem. So if you watch Game of Thrones, you know that Canada is in the north. And then to get there, you need to pass this massive ice barrier that was built by immigration services. The only way to get there is you fly a dragon and you need a visa. This is a map of who can come to Canada without a visa. It's only the Western countries, North America, Europe, and Australia. And this map might look quite similar to another map, which is the US visa map. They're literally the same picture. But I needed an alternative solution. I found an alternative solution. There's something called ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization. So if you come from a few countries and you have a US visa, you can actually apply online for the Canadian one, right? So you reduce the problem of getting the Canadian visa to the problem of getting the US visa, which is not necessarily easy for Brazilians. So you still need a strong reason to come, right? And as an academic, a strong reason is actually having a paper. So it turns out that we had a paper we could submit to a US conference and then get the US visa, right? So next problem was find the conference to submit this paper. So we found one, and actually was accepted there. So we had a chance to come and present the paper. And I think this is the first documented case of a researcher needing a paper at crypto to attain CHES. Which is the right order of importance, by the way. So let's look at the latency. So then this reduced the time to get the Canadian visa from 400 days to just 10 days, a speed up of 40 times. We were very lucky to get the US visa quickly. And under this US visa assumption, actually, this reduced the Canadian visa time to just 5 minutes. So the speed up of 115,000, so quite impressive. Of course, I should tell you that this still can go wrong. The visa can be rejected, or you might not be allowed to check in. So I actually had to wait 1 hour for them to check me in person at the counter, because even though all the paperwork was right, I could not be, the bid was 0. I could not be checked in for some reason, right? So I think the message here is, of course, not tell jokes about myself, is actually to think about the children, right? What are we leaving as a legacy to the next generations of researchers? So vote wisely. Sorry, I apologize profusely. Thank you.
Thank you. So all the others promised a serious talk. I will actually manage to do that. So I'll try to introduce you to non-constant time nonces. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, you might be familiar with elliptic curve cryptography, and nonces show up, for example, in ECDSA when you generate an ephemeral key, usually in the form of a large integer mod some large prime p. And since we are CHES, you also know that computers don't produce such numbers, right? We don't get integers mod p, we get random bit strings. If you're lucky, they are uniformly distributed. And usually if you implement, it's actually your job to turn that into a uniformly distributed integer mod p. And we know for ECDSA, for example, if they're not uniformly distributed, you are actually in big trouble. Okay, I need to hurry up. So that is also what implementers usually try to do. We try to get fast implementations. And one way of actually getting these uniformly distributed integers mod p is by rejection sampling. But it turns out that is maybe secure and it's uniformly distributed, but it's somewhat slow because sometimes you have to resample random numbers. Random numbers are expensive, takes time. So if you want to be fast, you do something else. You could also do modular reduction, but remember, these numbers are really big. Right? So modular reduction is also expensive. So if you really want a fast implementation, you might go for something even quicker. What is quicker than actually doing the computation? You approximate it, right? So that's actually something you can do. You approximate the quotient, and then you check if quotient times prime is bigger than the number, yeah, basically, you check if it's too big. If the remainder is not of the right size, you decrement the quotient and you repeat that until your number is the right format. And then you're happy. And actually, those numbers are also roughly uniformly distributed. Everything is fine. However, this is not constant time, right? So if an attacker, or if you can observe a side channel, you see how often this is repeated. How do the distributions actually look then? Well, let's have a look. So if the loop was not executed at all, the distribution actually looks like this. So you see smaller numbers are more likely than bigger numbers. If it executes once, the distribution changes. And just remember, this should be uniformly distributed. With a side channel, you get additional information, you're in trouble. If it executes one more time, the numbers are even more biased. So we didn't do a very good plot here. It doesn't start at 0, so all the numbers are really big. If you look at the binary representation of those numbers, what you can see is that the most significant two bits are always 1. There's also one bit that is always 0. All the other ones are still uniformly distributed, but there's just a few bits of leakage that usually is sufficient to recover your elliptic curves, your long-term key. And yes, if you wonder if you like this kind of work, and I'm too late, some shameless self-advertisement for our upcoming paper coming up at ACM CCS in 1 month. So if you like this kind of work and you wonder where you can find such a strong side channel, please tune in. The link is probably not readable anymore. You can find it on GitHub. Right now, it's not filled with content, but it will show up as soon as the embargo ends. Thank you very much.
So, hello. Yeah, so it's 1999. So we really want you to know if Raindoll with 256-bit block size is secure. So that is the main question. So 2 weeks ago at Crypto, I learned from Nikki here, who works at NIST, is that NIST is kind of serious about standardizing Raindoll with 256 block size. So I had to figure out, like, how does that actually work? You know, I've seen this specification last time 25 years ago. You notice something special about this. So that's a 6x4 by block. So that is actually a sort of an AES with 192-bit block size. Now, in August, this is dated August 9th. This is from Nikki's boss saying that, yes, we want to standardize it, and in order to basically save time, what if we just use the specification from 25 years ago that very few people have looked at since 1999? So we are a little bit worried about that. Anyway, so I had to look at it myself. So Nikki had access to NIST offices. He looked for the floppy disk that was submitted in '98 in order to find a reference implementation and perhaps the test vectors for this thing, because that's actually, it apparently exists somewhere in the offices along other things. So that's step number 1 in our cryptanalysis. Now step 2 is go to a library, and you can find this book in a library, and it actually has one test vector for this thing. So we have a test vector. Now, where do we find an implementation? So there's a section C in this book, which actually implements all of these various things. It has a Raindoll with 224-bit block size. Isn't that weird? So anyway, so you go there, you find the first edition, it has a bug. So it doesn't actually reproduce the test vector. You can see the cycled 4. That means that the second vector is always only 128 bits. Then you go, there's a new edition. So just 4 years ago, there was a new edition. It has another bug. So it actually, the reference implementation, rather than encrypting twice the all-0 vector, it actually decrypts. So if you run this code in the book, the second vector will be always 0. So that's always also easy to fix. So the basic message is here that we feel like no one has really looked at this. There might have been a few papers around that actually look at this, but it is way too early to standardize this. Some anecdotes. So especially the key schedule, which has been always a problematic for Raindoll, needs to be looked at. And we actually do know how to implement this. I should correct myself. So we can actually make this run quick. So you can use the AES instructions out there. You just need a byte shuffle, and it will be it. But this is just an encouragement to please look at this version again before it's too late or something. All right, thanks.
Yeah, so sorry, I can't offer much fun in this talk, but I can offer lots of fun in Taipei next year. So if you would like to submit your work in PQ Crypto to PQC in 2025, then please do so. and have a nice travel trip to Taiwan in April, which is the best season for traveling to Taiwan. Here are the deadlines, so they're coming up soon. So if you have any work to recycle that didn't get accepted here at CHES, then please use the opportunity. And as you can see, the program chairs are Marco, who just stepped down, and me, and one of the general chairs is Wayne, and Matthias is the other one. So this is like, let's say it's a PQ CHES, right? It's, forget the crypto part, it's PQ CHES. So all your papers are very much welcome, and I would love to see all of you in Taipei in April. Thanks.
Hey, some of you asked me to present. Huh? Okay, good side. Yeah, perhaps some of you have heard about this work that my associate published beginning of the week. So people asked me to tell a bit about that. So a few slides about the story. So it's the story begins in like 2021 when we published a work called Side Journey to Titan, which was actually a sidechain vulnerability on an old NXP secure element, where we could apply an attack on the Google Titan security key, FIDO device made by Google, blah, blah, blah. And just before the publication of this previous work, we booked a lot of FIDO devices. Why? Because the idea was to check if other devices would add the same secure element, the same vulnerable secure element. So we performed a teardown on all of these devices, but we only found 4 devices with the same secure element. So many waste. So how to reuse the self-funded research? Because self-funded research is expensive. So a good way is to reuse your previous work for another conference talk. That's what we did in Netherlands in 2022 at Hardware.io. And the main observation we had is like Yubico is the main provider, the main maker of FIDO tokens, okay? 40% of market shares. And all these tokens, Yubico tokens, are built upon the Infineon secure element, famous one, blah, blah, blah. So Thomas, my associate, said, let's look for a sidechain vulnerability in Infineon. So now I wanna tell you a really secret recipe that I apply since many years, how to find sidechain vulnerabilities in real-world devices. So first, you need a training device, means a device similar to what you want to hack, where you can choose your key, or at least know the key, okay? Second step, really important, you give the token, you link the device to Thomas. And then you feed him with good coffee every morning, and you wait, you wait, you wait. And one day, he comes back at the office, and he says, okay, I got the vulnerability. So in a nutshell, some serious points. So it's a sidechain vulnerability in the ECDSA nonce modular inversion. Actually, Infineon used a non-constant time extended Euclid algorithm with a small multiplicative mask, 32 bits. So Thomas had to reverse engineer via side channel the implementation, understand the timing leakages, and design a dedicated attack algorithm. So the impact was like all YubiKeys are impacted up to the firmware 5.7. And all the Infineon secure elements since like more or less 14 years. Hopefully, we did a coordinated responsible disclosure. Yubico has released his own crypto library, so no more problem since this version of the firmware. And Infineon also has a patch which will be soon deployed and certified, of course, important certification. So if you want more information, please go to the website and also read the really nice write-up of Thomas, 88 pages, good luck, but really nice science. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Like everyone, I'm also going to give an extremely serious talk. This one is about future-proofing cryptography. We've seen a lot of messages today, people encouraging us to look at the future. So if you like the talk you're about to see, my name is Toon Pernal from PQ Shield. If you don't like the talk, I'm Colin O'Flynn from New AE. So there's a few things that keep me awake at night. There's 2 existential threats I have in mind for the future of our field. One is talked about a lot. It's a quantum computer. could be game over. But as a community, we came together and overcame this essential existential threat. But as we've seen also today in this Rump session already, there's another one which is not talked about as much, but equally important, and that's the problem of old age in the community. All right. So we have the PC chairs with their accumulated age, and that's an issue. Because we need the future, we need bright minds, we need to attract them. And so there's a really big problem, and this is something that recent research has shown. So it's formally verified that if you take the average person, you track them over time, that actually their age increases linearly with time. Okay? This is irreversible. This is something we cannot do anything about. So we need another solution. And the solution to that is a new field, and that's called post-boomer cryptography. And I'm going to present a survey of the recent results in this field. So first, some definitions. Every SOK has a definition. So you're perfect. You understand everything. Everyone older than you is clueless. And so everyone older than you is a boomer. Everyone younger than you is attached to their smartphone. They're on TikTok all the time, so they're Zoomers. And those are the people we actually want to attract now, the people in blue. All right. So what does recent research say? Well, there's things that don't work. So emojis is something you think would work. And if you have a paper accepted at CHES with a poop emoji in the title, that's something that would impress me. But I'm a millennial, so that it doesn't tick really well with Zoomers. We tried pop culture, like we have ciphers named after Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Frodo, right? So they're also quite old, doesn't really work. We standardized a literal pyramid scheme. We tried standardized things, still the Zoomers don't come. And I also want to mention a seminal work at CHES 2023 by Prunal, trying to do something in the community. But the thing is, these CHES miles are disproportionately granted to older people because they do more in the community. That's just a fact. So retention-wise, it's not so good. Retention-wise, it is very good, but attracting new talent, not so much. So what can we do? What would work? So Zoomers really like attention, right? They're ideologically motivated, so maybe we can do some clickbait stuff like watch the CHES PC suffer and attach a price to it. What else can we? Yeah, we can organize some Olympics, like make people do extraordinary feats, like compute SHA-2 hashes in memory, like in their mind. Maybe that's something that could work. The lobster yesterday was already a very good segue into Instagram-worthy food. So you could just snap a picture, upload it, and I'm really looking forward to the avocado toast and the kombucha and the acai bowls we're having tomorrow for lunch. Also, something Zoomers like to do is expose themselves to unnecessary torture and then tape it. So eating California Reapers or swallowing Tide Pods and stuff like that. Something similar in our community, I think, would be to read the appendix of every Eurocrypt paper. There's also pranks. So Zoomers really like pranks. There was this sick prank in the community about the quantum attack on lettuces. This is something we need more of. So that's really great. All right. We also need to meet the people where they are. So they're on. So the PQC forum is going to be moved to Reddit, which is a more appropriate venue for the things that typically happen there. Hot Crap is going to Discord. Zoom is moving to Twitch. We're rebranding ePrint. It's going to be Zprint. It's going to have algorithmically curated content. There will be a comment section to diss each other's papers and publicly review them. And we're also going to have the attention economy and ads to monetize the Squid Game I mentioned earlier. On Reddit, NIST can also include participation, and we can decide on what these things are going to be named, like, which would be much better than MLChem. Let's be honest. I want to just impart you some vocabulary, just as a quick tip for things you can already do today. So don't say best paper award, but say drip mad lit no cap. Don't say our scheme is very compact and achieves 256-bit security, but you can also say small key energy, high sec aesthetic. Don't say security analysis, but say vibe check. You also don't say Test of Time Award, you say, okay, boomer. And if you see something like this, you could say, I have doubts, right? But the Zoomers have something else to say about that. And with that, I'd like to thank you and hope to find some new collaborators in the field of post-boomer cryptography.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is again another serious talk, and I want to announce the first edition of the Cascade conference. Wrong direction. So in case you haven't heard of this conference, it's actually, yeah, it's the first edition. It's going to take place in April next year, April 2 to 4. We have 2 paper submission deadlines. The first one is coming up very soon. So if you have anything you would like to submit, feel free to submit in September. And there's another one coming up in December. I'm going to be program chair together with Matthias. And in case, yeah, you're still asking you, what is actually Cascade? Where does this come from? The Cascade conference is actually the merge of the well-known Cardis and Cascade conference. So both of those conferences stopped to exist, and they are now merged to be a single conference, which is now called Cascade. Don't ask me what this means. I didn't come up with this abbreviation. It's just there. And yeah. So it's a new conference issued from the merge, and it focuses basically on cryptographic implementations, physical attacks, and embedded security. So it's yeah, exactly the same topics as we have here at CHES. So if you have some spare papers you still would like to submit, then consider submitting them to Cascade. If you're still wondering, where is this going to take place? Yeah, you can take a guess and you will quickly come up with the answer. It's going to take place in France. And if you still want to know, would like to know the city, then you can take another guess. And if you still don't have an idea, it's going to be in Saint-Étienne. And if you still don't know where this is, so it's quite in the middle of France, in the southern part. Right, so in case you need more information, just take this website, take a look, and yeah, we are looking forward to see a lot of submissions from your side. Thanks.
So here we come to the last one.
Yeah, so I brought a little song, so I don't have any slides. And there's a disclaimer to the song that's, so the song is about being a PhD student. And it's really unrelated to any personal relations. And there's also a, let's say, description to this disclaimer that is that I'm not yet graduated and my advisor is in the audience. I need the text though. Yeah, so if you chime in, so you know the song though, it's a fairly known song, and if you'd like to chime in the chorus, I'd be very delighted. Yeah. I'm PhD student now, and I read and I read. I stay up late and I wake up tired. My advisor with his cryptic tone. These papers help, though half are unknown. I'm PhD student now, and I write and I write. I write papers day in and day out. My advisor with his cryptic tone. We write the section, but you're on your own. Singing la 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 la. La 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 la. We should do this again. So please chime in. Singing la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hello, I'm the reviewer bee. And after all, I don't agree. This is trivial and incremental. Beside my works, reject and resubmit. And I write and I write. My advisor with his cryptic tone. Your draft's a mess, but the idea's grown. And I write and I write. Oh wait, no, now it's way too long. Baseline stretch 0.95. Still too long, resize figure 3B, singing la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. At CHES my talks at 9 a.m. Time to wake up tired again. And I talk and I talk. Your question makes absolutely no sense. Please let me go off the stage right now. Please let me go off the stage right now. Serious, let me go off the stage.
Excellent. This was the last talk or song of the Rump session. Thanks everyone for coming. We still have some awards to give out. We decided to give awards to 3 different talks. The first award, maybe we should mention that we're going to hand out engraved boat cleats that say CHES 2024. They're completely useless, but they look nice. So the first talk that we selected to get an award is A Game of Visas by Diego.
Thanks, bro. So hope you have a boat next year to sail from Denmark to Malaysia.
Perfect. Okay.
And the next award then goes to Antun for, of course, what you saw, future-proof cryptography. Please think about having a FPF conference. FPC conference, future-proof cryptography. And
we have 1 award left.
So, audience, what do you think? Any hints? Any aspirations?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Georg, a PhD student of song. The PhD student.
I wish you with many, many PhDs.
Yeah, so if you can excel at academics, so you just have to sing a song, yeah? Then you're an award-winning scientist.
The bar is still open, so attack.
And please let him graduate. He needs to write a different song next year calling the postdoc. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Maybe